Our long form series to get to know and share the stories of the Calgary Wranglers continues. And one of the team's longest tenured players, Alex Gallant, joining us for a chat. Alex, such a pleasure to be able to sit down with you. And thanks for making some time.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Sandra. Thanks for having me on.
Well, listen, how are you feeling? I know it was a tough start to the season, a bit of an injury there during training camp, but you definitely seem up to speed.
Yeah, no, feeling great. Obviously not the way you want to start your season with an injury, and especially one that didn't come from really anything I could control with the ankle infection. But I think I'm pretty much by it now. It still throbs the odd time, but I think I should be in the clear there, and everything's starting to feel pretty good. And no, it's just great to be back in the swing of things.
Well, let's go way back. Summerside PEI population, I looked it up, around 17,000 these days. And from what I can tell, the pictures are quite beautiful. What was it like growing up there and playing hockey in Summerside?
It was awesome. I'm so proud of where I'm from. I just PEI in general. I love home. I love getting back to the island whenever I can, and someday me and my wife's plans to settle there. So no, we love it. Growing up playing there was very special too. It's such a hockey community, and everyone kind of knows everyone around the community, and it was just. Everyone just kind of has each other's backs too and is there for each other, and it was cool growing up playing hockey in the community, and still to this day, me and my brother and my old junior coach and goalie coach have a hockey school right in our hometown, and so we're in the rink most of the summers too, so it's great. We have lots of support on the island and a lot of kids, so it's awesome. It was a great spot to grow up and learn to play the game I love.
So during the Christmas break, I actually sat down and I read Ken Reed's Hometown Hockey Heroes, and your dad, Mike, a big focus of one of those chapters. I believe it was chapter number 3. The stories are great. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's going to pick up the book, but your dad, you could tell that he was the heart of that hockey community during those days in Summerside as you guys were growing up and made your way through the hockey ranks.
Yeah, no, that it was very, very special of Ken to do that. He's a good friend. I got to know him. I got to know him really well over the last 6 or 7 summers. We always do some charity golf tournaments together, and he's just an absolute pleasure to be around. And he approached me and my family with, asking if we'd be comfortable with him doing that, and it was just amazing how it all turned out, and the stories that he got from other hockey, players around PEI and that grew up around my father's era. So it was so special for my family, getting to read that last year, and just, if my dad could read it, he'd be so proud. So really cool, Ken, to involve us and my family, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
I know this is pretty open ended, but why did your dad care so much about hockey, especially in that community?
You know what? It was just he grew up in the parking lot of the rink, actually. The street, our Summerside rink is on Rufus Street, and that's actually named after my great grandfather, who was in both World Wars. So a lot of connections. He grew up, like I said, in the parking lot. They had to tear his house down that they grew up in to make the parking lot bigger, and they moved across the road. So I think he just lived at the rinks. That's probably kept them out of trouble back then. Stay at the rinks, and that's kind of what he knew. And my dad really, really loved the game, and that's just kind of what my family's thing was, and it still is to this day. It's just like I said, I was just on the phone with my mom, and she's running back and forth to the rink with the 4 grandchildren now, and she just loves it. She obviously grew up, taking us 3 boys to the rink every day, and now she's doing the same thing with the nieces and nephews, and she's just so happy to be back in the rinks. And so no, it's pretty special, and that's, I think, like I said, just growing up by the rink, and that's just what they had to do back in Summerside. That was the big thing, and Dad just loved it.
Yeah, Pinky's Boys, Pinky, the nickname for your dad. And then you and your brothers, Brad and Brett. I'd love to know what it was like for the three of you growing up and how competitive it must have been and the juices that were constantly flowing with you guys.
Yeah, it was. Me being the youngest was a little rougher on me at times, for sure. But no, it was great. They're the two best brothers you could ask for, and we just always competed with each other, and I think that's what made us, made all three of us, have some success in hockey. We all love the game, but we also all pushed each other and battled against each other, whether it was in the backyard rink, on the street in the summer, or wrestling in the basement. So it was just, hockey was kind of everything for us.
And looking back, what did your dad teach you and your brothers about being tougher than nails players and sticking up for your teammates? Because I've been able to see you in person now for the last 2.5 going on to 3 years, and you're never afraid of making sure you stick up for your mates out there.
Yeah, dad never pushed that on us. He would never do that or anything like that. But a story, I tell is my oldest brother Brad. He always did. He used to tell a story. He came home. We all grew very late. Like I think all of us grew 6 inches when we hit grade 12. So we got pushed around a lot when you're younger. And Dad, I remember Dad tells the story of Brad coming home. He was right upset, saying, "Dad, when am I going to grow? I'm getting pushed around. I want to, be tougher." And so Dad went out and bought us a punching bag and then a speed bag and put them up in the basement. And all of us were hitting it all the time. And like I said, never pushed it on us, but we also always heard the stories when we were at the rink of what my dad used to do on the ice. And
Yeah.
we always heard that. Everyone would kind of say, "Your pinky son, geez, he was some tough," and then also on my mother's side, my Uncle Mike and a couple of our other brothers were really tough too. And my Uncle Mike's nickname's Killer from hockey. He was pretty tough too. So we get it on us from both ways. But like I said, he never pushed that on us. But for me, after watching both my brothers play junior and having their 20, 30 fights a year, I kind of figured I was going to step into the same role whenever my time came.
So your dad also essentially was an agent for you as well, just being able to turn pro. And then after you had your shoulder surgery and you weren't really sure what your next step was going to be. Was there ever a time for you, Alex, where you thought, okay, I might not be able to make that next step in hockey? Junior was it?
Yeah, 100%. When I had some shoulder problems in junior and my 20-year-old year, I really missed pretty much my whole 20-year-old season, which was disappointing. In my hometown, we were hosting the Royal Bank Cup. So luckily I got back and, had a great playoffs and a good run with that team. But, it was tough. I had the Brett that went the pro route of hockey and everything worked out great for him. And then I had my older brother, Brad, who went the college route. So I got to see both options. Really for me, at the time, I just didn't really think I was going to be able to make something out of hockey. So I was thinking, if I could get some schooling out of it, that would be great. And if I can get some pro hockey after, then that's all a bonus. And not going to lie, like I said, I was hurt that old 20-year, never really put up the best points ever. That was my thing. So come for college hockey, I had zero offers, and so it was frustrating for me at the time. I'd have a lot of buddies either, in school or heading west. Like that's a big thing for us to head out to Fort Mac, So I had a lot of buddies doing that, and I was trying to decide. And I had a shoulder surgery right after my 20-year-old junior year, and I wasn't able to play till I think end of November. So really my dad was just kind of making some calls. He had some connections through my brother being in pro hockey, and Brett was doing really well at the time. So, I owe a lot to Brett. I think them seeing what Brett could do, I think, I got a shot for that as well. But I had to start in the SPHL, and it's kind of funny going down there. My dad didn't even tell me. I went down on a 3-game tryout. I think it was $75 a game or whatever it was. Yeah. And my dad didn't even tell me that because he just didn't want me to go down there thinking this is it if I get cut. He just wanted me to go and do my thing. And anyways, everything worked out. And, now I am so happy to be with, Calgary for 6 years. And, I never would have thought it heading down to Georgia when I was 20 that, I'd still be playing hockey to this day. But I owe it all to my mother and father. They did everything for us. They spent all their money on making us better and making us good people and good hockey players. And I just owe it all to them. But it was quite a start for me. And like I said, I'm glad I picked the pro route because, I'm still playing hockey to this day and doing what I love. So no, it all worked out great.
I'll just circle back to that in a moment, but I just want to make sure that we underline your charity golf tournament as well. You raise money for the Boys and Girls Club of Summerside. I'd read something about the 18th hole.
The 18th. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's yeah, no, there's that's the Summerside Boys and Girls Club. I worked there growing up. I went to the Boys and Girls Club, played a lot of ball hockey and stuff there growing up, and then when I played junior, they were great to give me a job on my own hours. When I could be there, and mix in with hockey. And actually, I owe a lot to Adam Binkley too. He runs the Summerside Boys and Girls Club, and it is such a successful Boys and Girls Club. It's crazy what they're doing and how many kids they help. And actually they're expanding into another community in Kensington. So I owe a lot to Adam because I would come home and summer train, and Adam just said, yeah, you can. He's like, leave when you need to leave, clock in and out when you need to leave to go train. He goes, I want you to focus on hockey and do what you love. So I owe a lot to Adam. He really worked with me and helped me, make a couple dollars in the summer so I can afford to train and skate and stuff like that. But also give me the time to go do that. So he puts on that golf tournament. I've been a part of it now. I worked it for, I want to say 4 or 5 years until I got into pro hockey. And then it was kind of, would you be a celebrity? And he kind of flipped it on me, so now that's what I do. But the 18th hole, really, there's a lot of holes. There's a lot of fun holes. We have a great time. It's a 3-day thing up in Mill River, and they raise a lot of money, and a lot of big names come to the island for it. And I've got to meet a lot of great people through it too. But it's a really special event, and I love being a part of it.
And any details about this year's event, or is it too soon?
Too soon. Adam was, well, it's not too soon, but Adam's just starting to get things going on it.
Yeah.
He called me there just after the New Year's and was going over some names and stuff like that. He mentioned Doug Gilmore coming this year. I can't think off the top of my head about more names, but he had Bobby Orr last year
Yeah.
in for a day. Larry Robinson's there every year, which is very special to me. I got Larry was a part of San Jose when I was there, so I got to know Larry well, and he's obviously a legend. So I love getting to see Larry there, and Ken Reed's there every year. And I could go on forever with names, but it's a very, very special event, and a lot of people love coming to the island in the summer too. So I
Sure.
don't think it's a hard sell, but it's a really great event, and they raise a lot of money for kids all around the island. So it's awesome.
Brilliant. So you mentioned your career takes you to the Calgary organization, specifically Stockton, back in 2019. I know Mark Benetti and I know Brandon Weiss, so I heard certain things about the Stockton Heat, but I'd love to hear what that experience was like from you.
It was awesome. I absolutely love Stockton. I love Calgary. My wife's from Sylvan Lake, so we absolutely love being here. But me and her both, and she'll say the same. We miss Stockton. We really enjoyed our time there. Like I have zero bad things. It can be a rougher area, but you know what? I think every city's got its rough spots. So I truly love Stockton. I really enjoyed my time there, and a big part of that is just the organization. Though we got treated so well down there. They had a great setup for us, and the same with here. So really, it's a top notch organization, and I think that's helped me love it so much down there, and just the people too. The
Yeah.
people that are around, all of our staff. I've been with Brian and Pete for 6 years now, Goro for 4 years. And then the coaching staff with Joe for 6 years, and now it has Sutsi behind the bench, and Jelly's been around forever, and Brett's obviously just been amazing to me. And so, like I said, it just helps just with the organization. But I truly, truly love Stockton. I love to do outdoor stuff. I love to golf and fish, and I had a river behind me and a golf course behind me where I live. So it was amazing down there. And yeah, and it's too bad that they can't make a teamwork down there, because there's some really great fans down there, and I know they miss their hockey for sure.
So the move to Calgary, how have you enjoyed being part of an NHL city?
I love it. I love it. I always loved Calgary. Like I said, I met my wife here, so it's a very special spot. And we go out to PEI every summer, so it kind of works out great that we can be here in the winter. Her family comes up lots, so it's great to have them around, and then we get to go and be in the island, enjoy my family there in the summer. So it works out great. And then besides that, like the hockey, it's just like I always wanted to. So I played in California for 2 years, and then Chicago, Syracuse, but I always wanted to play in a Canadian city. Like
Yeah.
before I retired, I wanted to play in a Canadian city. I'm a very proud Canadian, and hockey's just different in Canada, in every city, it's just hits different. So it's been pretty special, being in Calgary, especially a city like Calgary and playing here. I absolutely love it, and it's been great.
So, from that final season in Stockton to the time here in Calgary with the Wranglers, it's always been a really competitive AHL team. We're seeing it again this season. Why is this team so tight and able to progress despite so many players getting called up and finding their way to the NHL? But you guys always have this next man up. What works in that dressing room?
I think a big part of that is between Brad and Connie always bring the right people in, whether it's the right older guys, and then obviously we've had some amazing prospects. I could sit here and name them all to you, and I know you know them all, but it really helps having some awesome prospect players, which I was very proud to get to play with these guys and watching them do so well in the NHL now. Like, Rory the other night was so cool, so
Yeah.
special. But obviously having the awesome prospects helps. But also, like I said, I think they bring in the right people that want to win. I feel like some AHL teams kind of just get stuck in that rut of developing, not winning. They don't know how to win. I feel like we've always just known how to win here, whether we might not have it that night or not. We find a way. And I think, like I said, just having the right people around. And I've always loved my teams as I played here, and loved the guys in the room, and we all love each other in the room. I think we all just want to go out there and do what it takes to win for each other. So, like I said, I think just having the right people in the room is what makes us successful.
Since you know him as a player, I know you know him as a friend, but what's the transition like to have Brett Sutter behind the bench? Is it weird taking orders from him?
No, it's not. It's we all knew that Brett was going to become a coach. Like, some players, when you play with them, the way they think the game and see the game, or the way they, kind of how to word this, like kind of come up with other, suggestions while you're out there or anything. Like, I don't know if I've ever played with a guy who you're like, he's going to be a coach for sure. You
Yeah.
just know. So we knew it was going to be easy, and everyone takes what Brett says and does it, because we all respect him so much. Like, it's just, he's an easy guy to listen to. We all love him and respect him so much, and I absolutely love playing with him. We became so close, and we've had some great times together, and now it's pretty special having him behind the bench and learning even more from him.
And you've worn a letter for a long time too. How would you describe your leadership style?
Just I just want to work my hardest every night. I want to take care of the guys on and off the ice, and I'll always be there. What the situation is, if it's family stuff, on ice stuff, whatever it is, I'll always be there for the young guys. And I just try to kind of be like an uncle to them all, whatever I can do, and just to be there for the guys. That's always kind of been my thing.
Never want to look too far ahead, but have you thought about what you'd like to do post playing career?
Yeah, I think about that a lot. I have a few things going at home. I have a couple businesses at home and some rental property stuff like that. Try to set myself up for the future. I have another couple other things in the works that we'll see, but like I said, I have a couple of things on the go that are great and stuff like that. But whether I want to go home and do it or not, or stay in the game, is still undecided, because I think as soon as I leave the game, I'm going to really miss it. So, and I think I'll be one of the guys that struggles with it after, struggles being in the dressing room, stuff like that. So, if I could stay close to the game, I think I would really enjoy that. But, if something like that doesn't work out, it's something will come up at home. And I got some stuff in the works at home that, yeah, everything should be good there. But like I said, I love the game, and I think I would like to stay around the game as well.
Okay, before we let you go, I thought we'd do a couple of fun questions, get to know you type things. I did ask this to Clark. I'm going to ask you the same question. You've been in Calgary a couple of years now. What is a hidden gem, maybe for you and your wife, like a coffee spot, restaurant, golf course? I know you mentioned you like to golf a lot. What do you guys like to do?
Hidden gem. Actually, me and my wife, I've always been really into fishing, but my wife has really taken a liking to it too. So we actually this year we went today. We've done so much of it. We live right beside where in Inglewood where the Elbow and the Bow meet. So we take walks every day, and I take the fishing rod. We really enjoy just kind of walking. I fish a few different holes and kind of doing that. We really enjoy that and getting outside and doing that stuff. And especially with the weather we're getting this winter, it's been absolutely amazing. It hasn't frozen over, so I've been able to keep doing that. Hidden gems for me and Morgan would be 10-foot Henry. That's our spot. That's our restaurant. We're actually my wife's pregnant, and we're finding out the gender on the 23rd, and we're gonna go there to celebrate after. So we haven't been there yet this year, but that's definitely our number one spot for sure. We love going there.
That's perfect. That's lovely. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. We're really excited.
Couple of little Wranglers with
Yeah,
Clark. Uh,
all kinds of them this year. It's we're saying I think in all my career, Brian is the only one I think that had a baby, and now I think there's 5 this year, or something like that. So or 4 or 5. So it's been pretty cool. It's cool to all do together as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, it really speaks to, I think, the camaraderie that you guys have. It really does come out on the ice how much you are such a unit. And I think back, I think it was Ilya Solovyov when they had their gender reveal and everybody
Yes,
came out on the ice, and it's just such
that
a
was so cool.
family with this group, hey?
It is, and it's always felt like that too. And that's something I really think that's important too, because you're also far from your family. So I think being able to form another family when you're gone away for 8 months or whatever it is, I think that's really important, especially for a guy like Soli who hasn't been able to get home to his own family and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool we could all have that moment for him.
Love it. Okay, you've got $10. You're going to 7-Eleven. What are you getting?
Uh I'm a big chip guy. My go-to snacks are chips, dill pickle, salt and vinegar, and probably a Gatorade. But definitely, if I'm going in there, I'm a big chip guy, so I'd probably be grabbing a bag of chips.
No Slurpee?
No, probably not. Probably get my Gatorade or potentially a pop, but usually if I'm grabbing a snack, it'd be a Kit Kat for a chocolate bar or some Doritos or dill pickle or salt and vinegar, and I'm all set.
Love it. Dill picker is very underrated.
It is. It is. It's a big hit in this house for sure.
Okay, if there's one sporting event in the world you could go to, doesn't matter how much it costs, you can get into any sporting event, what would it be?
That's easy. The Masters for sure. Yeah, 100%. That's a bucket list for sure. Is getting down to Georgia to see the Masters. I that's my favorite thing to watch on TV. I can't wait for it every year. So that's definitely an easy pick for me. I'd love to get down there someday.
Which golfers are you following these days?
Uh, into the new Tiger Woods thing that he's got going on, but always been a Dustin Johnson fan. But anything Tiger, I'm pretty interested in though. So yeah, but no, really at all. I like following golf and the Jays and stuff like that. So that's kind of my two teams or my two things for sure.
Best concert that you've ever been to?
Best concert. I'd have to go with Zach Brown Band down in Georgia. Actually, I'll just never forget him kind of vanishing in the crowd, and then all of a sudden a light pops onto him in the crowd, and he starts singing "Colder Weather," and that's a song that I absolutely love. So I think that still sits at the top for me is Zach Brown Band. It's he put on such a great show, and it was in a stadium. There's something about being in a stadium for concerts I love too. So that was it was pretty cool.
Last one. What's your message to Wranglers fans?
Just listen, we appreciate all the support that you guys give us, and appreciate you as always being there for us. And we're gonna keep on plugging away for you guys and doing our best out there.